Welcome back to our video series on the book of Ephesians. We're in chapter 6, talking about societal order. And we've covered children and fathers. Societal order is vital in God's plan, because in an orderly society, the gospel and God's word can go forward. And God is concerned about salvation, primarily in Christian growth. And that's important in this week's lesson, verses 5 and 6, talking about those who are slaves and being obedient to their masters. God tells us this because, and emphasizes the slaves, because about 50% of the people in Rome were servants or slaves to their masters. And he tells them to obey, and he does this to emphasize that they were to be a good witness to their society. Plus, it helps maintain order. So the gospel could go forward. Now, some people have criticized this. Why was not God concerned about slavery? God's concerned about slavery, that we should be free. And we see today that Christian countries are based on the principle of freedom, individual rights, and the individual dignity of man. And that's important. But in the context of Rome and building the church and spreading the gospel that God could change the world with the message of Jesus Christ, it took a secondary importance to people coming to believe in their eternity. You have to look at things from God's eyes and not just man. God was most concerned about salvation. But importantly, it's the church that as Rome became Christian, and they moved into the Middle Ages and into more organized, compassionate societies of the current age, based on Christian principles, that slavery disappeared. Even where there were areas of problems, like in the 1700s when slavery had a resurgence with the New World, the church helped correct this, and Christian societies corrected this, and it's gone today. Yet still, slavery is evident in non-Christian societies. Christianity is good for society. Go to our website at telehouseresearch.com. We have studies under the tile society on the front page, comparing Christian and non-Christian societies and how it's better for people, particularly children and women, but the whole society in terms of well-being and political and economic and educational opportunities. So God does care for these things, and yet he was most desirous at this point that the servants serve their masters for testimony within the Roman culture so the gospel could go forward. In verse 6, he says, then they should serve not with just pretending, but actually with earnestness of heart and purity of heart. So again, for the to be a good witness not only to their masters, but also the society in general. Thanks for joining me today. Come back next time as we continue to talk about the roles and the order of society. We'll talk about the masters and how they're to treat the servants in the next verse. Thanks so much.